All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are in. Let's get you on window. Let's get the mic on. Let's get into the carpentry mill. So the carpentry mill has been updated to make where's my pallets? Empty barrels. So we're going to use barrels in the fermenting house. So I need to move some barrels over to the fermenting house. So let's go File, Export Selection with Files, Fermenting House, Pallets. Alright, so first up is going to be red wine pallet. So let's get that one moved over. And we'll work with that and we'll build off of that. So let's grab our barrels palette and let's copy that to the fermenting house. Alright, so that is going to be, let's rename it now. So it's going to be red wine palette. So let's fix our texture first. So let's grab this guy. Okay, this has the little old man symbol on it. I want to change that up. So I grabbed an extra texture just in case. But let me rename it, just so I don't mess up the one that's already in there. So this is going to be wooden barrel. I'm going to go RW for red wine. So let me copy that into here. Let's open that one up. Alright, so this is going to be red wine. I think we're just going to put a white label or a black label or something on here showing that this is going to be some red wine. So let's start with black. We'll see what that looks like. Quick brown fox. Probably like a 28 font maybe. Red wine. I just want to get a label on the barrel. Let's try maybe 33. Go up a little bit more. And we'll see what that looks like. So let's save that. And we change this to RW for red wine. Was it all lowercase? It was all lowercase. So let's save that. And then we'll see if how this barrel's going to look. Oh, white texture. So what did we mess up? Textures, wood barrel. Oh, I missed the L. Wood barrel, red wine. That looks a little bit better. I'll slow our speed down. Do we have the red wine? We do. Do I need to make that white and move it down onto the darker board? Maybe. See what it looks like in white. So if we back that out and we change it to white, we go down here and we put it on the darker board. Save that. Now what does that look like? Hope everyone is doing well today. Hope you all had a good weekend. Yeah, I'm going to like that much better. So we'll have red wine. So, I should have left that open. Let's fix this first. So you are going to be red wine. Our I3D is going to be red wine. And then our fill type will be red wine. So we have our, that's fixed, that's fixed, that's fixed. Let me close some of the stuff I don't need open. Carpentry I'm done with. Barrel palette I'm done with. Ritchie's Creek I can close for now. Alright, so that leaves us just a red wine palette open. So I think we're good with the red wine palette. So let's open this one up. And let's go File, Export, Melon Wine, Palette. And let's just close it for now. We can open it back up when we need it. Alright, let's copy this and paste it back in. So you're going to become Melon Wine. Alright, so let's take this guy, let's open it up. Come back over here. So let's back that out. So you are now going to become Melon Wine. I'm probably going to have to take the font down a little bit. No, it'll fit, just fit in there. Let's take it down just a little bit. Let's go like to 38. Alright, so Melon Wine. Let's file, save as, and we'll change it from RW to MW. Save that. And then we'll change, did I open it up? I did. So we'll change that to MW. So we should have a melon wine palette. Yep, so now we have a melon wine barrel. So we'll change this to melon. 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 Melon wine. Alright, so that is number 2 done. And let's just work off the red wine. Alright, so I'm going to go File, Export, Sauerkraut. So Sauerkraut, Palette. And we might as well just make our last one while we're here. So File, Export, Vinegar, Palette. So that's going to be the 4 products our fermenting house makes. Now the red wine, melon wine is going to be, you can sell those. The sauerkraut, you could probably sell. The vinegar we're going to use in another factory. So let's take, what's next on the list? Sauerkraut. So let's copy that, paste it in. So you become our sauerkraut palette. Let's rename this just SA for sauerkraut. Save that. And we have to fix our back that out. Oh, we're going to have to shrink this down. Oh, maybe not. Let's go down just a little bit. And let's file, save as, and we just changed it to SA. So save that. So we should now have a sauerkraut barrel. And we do. And then we change this. Change our I3D. And we change our fill type. I think that's spelled right. Alright, so that takes care of that one. And then we go into our vinegar palette. We'll just change this to VI. And we change this to vinegar. And we'll go File, Save As, VI. And we should now have, we close that. We should now have a vinegar palette. Alright, cool. And then one more XML to fix. So let's grab red wine. Rename. And then you become vinegar. Vinegar. And vinegar. So let's save that. Alright, so that should be our 4 palettes done. So I'll have our melon wine, our red wine, our sauerkraut, and our vinegar. Vinegar will be used in another factory. Now, I brought a couple of buildings in. I already made the HUD for the melon wine, the red wine, the sauerkraut, and the vinegar. So those HUDs I already have. I just pulled them out of FS19, our fermenting house from FS19. Now I want to build this on the Mammoth Mill base. So let's open that up. And we're going to get rid of visuals. Alright, discharge pipe, we can go. Grain gate, we're going to leave. Sign, I already made a sign, so the sign can go. Do I want any of those? I can pull them back out if we need them. So we're going to delete those out. Let's delete those out. That goes. That goes. And then we have to get rid of these. And then what do we have in attachments? The electrical meter. That can go. So it's going to give us a clean base to work off of. So let's go File, Export, Fermenting House, not pallets, in here. So Fermenting House. So that's going to be our base we're going to work off of. Let's get rid of that without any. So let's go back to the fermenting house. And I'm going to open up another folder so I can have them side by side. I want to go back into the mill. Alright, so I'm going to need effects, fill planes, scripts, brand, effects. I'm going to need XML, mod description, new fill types, and an icon. So copy those into there so we have them in the file we're working on. Alright, so the first thing, let's get the factory built. Alright, let's create a plane to work on. Just so we have a flat surface to work on. Take my speed up a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to go File, Import. I pulled this out of the US map because I thought the building looked really cool and it would make a nice fermenting house. Let's go 0, 0, 0. Let's get it square. And I think we're going to turn it. Our pallet spawners are on this side. So what do we want? What side of the building do we want our pallets to spawn out on? This side or this side? It's about 50-50. I'll spawn them out on this side. So let's take this to -90. Slide it over this way. We may have to make our pallet spawner a little bit shorter. Let's put this here for now. And then it's got to come down a little bit. Let's see if we have any other props. Let's look at our props. So I'm thinking about there on our height. RSATANAS, hello, thank you for stopping in. Alright, so we're going to use this for our main building. Now I brought in a few more. Let's see what else I brought in. Let's see what building 2 is. Building 2 is like a little covered garage. I thought maybe we could put some barrels and stuff in it. Now I can get rid of the flickering just by dropping it down. Oh, but let me do this first. I forgot to move this into a different transform group. Edit, cut, visuals. Alright, let's get that in that transform group. Not sure if we're going to use this or not, but let's move it over. Drop a little bit so we don't get the base flickering. Maybe we will use it. Maybe we'll fill it full of barrels or something. We're still going to get that base coming through a little bit. Drop it down a little bit more. Alright. What else do I have in the map file? So building 1 we used, building 2 we used. I have some props and I have some signs. UMPY1, good morning. Thank you for stopping in. Much appreciated. We are building a fermenting house that's going to make red wine, melon wine, sauerkraut, and vinegar. Yeah, so I think I'm going to keep that as well. And that'll give us room for our pallets to spawn out. Now I'm going to slide this up a little bit further. I want to slide, I think, this up a little bit further. And then where do we want to drop our goods off at? Over on this side. So let's take our grate. Let's move our grate over here. And then we'll move our... Okay, the unloading trigger we're not going to need because we have all pallets. So that we can get rid of. We don't need that in the map. Which means my loading spline I can get rid of. We don't need that in the map. So let's grab our unload trigger. Let's get it over here. Alright, so that should have everything in it that we need. It has our exact fill route node, it has our link node, it has our unloading node, it has our trigger marker, and then we have our spline that we have to move over. Alright, so that should be our input. We'll have to mess with the lights in a minute. Which factory? Let's go... I'm going to import in, just for a minute, the cell point. The placeable cell point. Just for a minute, because I want to grab the parking lot lines out of it. Oh, that gave me a light. I want the parking lot lines. Give me the lines. Oh, you're going to give me the whole thing. Alright, let's do this the hard way. Visuals, parking lot. We're going to go edit, cut, and paste. So I want the parking lot lines in there. And I'm going to grab let's grab the pickup truck. And then we'll grab probably the little red car. Now, while I have it in here, is there anything else I want to grab out of here? If I need anything else, I'll import it back in. But I think we're good. Is there a trash bin? Yeah, let's grab one of the trash bins. So I'm going to go edit, cut, and paste. Grab one of those. What else in here? We'll get some more props. Let's grab the metal box. So edit, cut, and paste. Oh, Umpy? Okay, Umpy. Okay, thank you. Thank you for, yeah, I'm terrible with names. I usually butcher them, so I try not to pronounce them. Alright, anything else I want? Not, if we want anything else, we'll pull it back out. Alright, so let's get the cell point out of here. Alright, so first up is the parking lot. Let's pull that over this way. Oh, am I going to be able to fit it in there? No, it's going to be in the way. Alright, so let's slide you down this way. Now, I could bury one parking spot. No, I can't. It'll stick out. Alright. Let's grab pickup truck. Got to have somebody in here running the factory. And then let's grab the other vehicle. Alright, so that's going to get us a couple of vehicles in, and we have some props. Let's go on this side with the props. So we have our trash bin. I don't know where it ended up at. Let's throw it over here. I'll drop that there. And then we had the green metal box. Oh, we'll just drop that down. And then I want to I have a couple other barrels. So let's import in, oh, where's the fermenting house here? There's building 1 we used, building 2 we used. Let's grab the open barrel. And we have some just barrels without some lids on it. Let's just throw a few in here. And then I have a couple barrels that have like a cloth cover over them. We'll just get 1 or 2 in here. Let's make sure it's on the ground. Throw that over there. Alright, now over here, let me do a quick save. Alright, let me grab, let's go into here a minute, because I don't have the closed barrel. So let's go back into the carpentry mill. Let's grab the barrel pallet. I want just one of the barrels off of it. Let's go File, Export, Barrel Closed. Let's grab that one. Alright, so we should now have a closed barrel. And now, do I have any kind of a shelf or a pallet rack? I don't. Alright, let me do this, because this is going to get out of hand here in a minute. Let me close that, let me close that. Let's create a transform group. I'm going to throw it inside of here. We're going to go barrels. I'm going to actually duplicate that. I'm going to go edit, cut. I'm going to throw it inside here. And I'm going to throw it like right here. Then we're going to take this barrel. I'm going to put it inside here. And we're going to throw it here. So that's center of the transform group. Because it is a fermenting house and we are going to use a ton of barrels. So let's get some barrels in here. Oh, let me take my speed down a little bit. It's hard, I don't want to zoom in that quick. Alright, something like that. So now I can mess with this whole transform group as one unit. Alright, let me slide this one back a little bit. Pull this one back a little bit. Alright, now it's not into the post. Alright, so let's pull it up. We'll slide it over. Alright, so that should be good. Get some props in there. Now, let's get some lighting on this building. Alright, so close that a minute. Alright, so we'll take this first one. And we'll throw it like right here. Let me pull it out a little bit. And that'll be a light where we drop our goods off at. So Shift and C. So this one has to be in this exact same spot. And then this one has to be in the exact same spot. So that's going to be one light. I'm going to throw another light on this side of the building where our pallets are going to spawn. Grab this one. We'll throw it about here. Shift and C. Shift and V. And then Shift and V. But I think oh no, they stay at -90. Okay. So a little bit of lighting. And then let's get our factory down to where it's going to be spawning into the game. A little bit wider. shrink this down. So I think that's going to be the size of our factory. Yeah, that'll work. Alright, so let's go up to the top. Okay, so map position, we have to pull this over. Storage. Alright, so unloading is done. Info trigger. We're going to have to move this over a little bit. So it can go narrower. And then it can go longer. So that should be our info trigger done. Our unload spline is done. Player trigger. Is it in the way of the steps? Actually, we can leave the player trigger right there. Player trigger node is done. Okay, so that is done. Lights are done. Clear area. Let me flip my camera around. Alright, so start has to go on this corner. Width will go on this corner. And height over on this corner. And that's where the building knows where to spawn into the map. And then level area goes in the same spot. So start, width, and height. Alright, and then test area, which I still have no idea what does. We can delete test area 2 because we don't need it. Test area, because I can't get a straight answer from anybody what the test area does. And if you take it out, it throws an error. So I usually just leave it in. And then let's get this guy in place. Alright, so that's done. Visuals are done. Pallet spawner we didn't move. So that's still in place. And then the cube I don't need. So this should be our factory done. Let's save that. I'm going to grab a quick sip of coffee. So that should be our factory done. So now we come into here. Alright, so barrel closed and covered I'm done with. Building 1, building 2 I'm done with. They can get deleted. Barrel open we are done with. Oh, we didn't put the signs on. Let's go back into here. I made a couple signs ahead of time. Let's go File, Import. Let's bring in sign 1. And let's come back up to visual. So edit, cut, and paste. Alright, which one is this one? Alright, so this one's going to have to get shrunken down a little bit. And this way a little bit. Alright, so there's one sign. we have any other flat areas over here. Alright, let me duplicate that. And let's spin it around to -90. Alright, now I should have some tall, skinny signs. So let me bring this other one in. Yeah. Make it just a little bit narrower. Alright, so right up, let's probably pull this down a little bit. No, let's take it up. And let's throw in on this side. So let's spin this around. And let me close my door because the dog just came busting in. Alright, sorry about that. I want my microphone to pick up the television because when I upload it to YouTube, I'll get a copyright strike. Alright, so that should be our signs. Do I want to squeeze one? Now that should be good. Alright, so that should be our signs. So let's save that again. Alright, now that our signs are done, we can get back into this mess. Alright, so I can delete these out now that they're in the factory. Lazarus8080, hello, thank you for stopping in. Thanks for taking time out of your day stopping in and saying hello. We're building a fermenting house that's going to make red wine, melon wine, vinegar, and sauerkraut. Alright, so mod descriptions first. So let's replace this with fermenting house. And then it's going to be version 1.0. We have to manually change this one. And then we have to change this one. And then our let's do the XML first. So this is going to be fermenting house. So we'll rename our XML, and then our icon, we're going to do the same thing. And we'll come back to the palettes in a minute. Alright, so we're going to need a fermenting house icon. So let's change this one because it's no longer the Mammoth Mill. To fermenting house. And then we have to update this because we need a picture when we purchase it in the store. So we're going to have to update this. Missed a little bit over here. So I had clean slate to start with. So let's jump in here. And which angle do I want? Let's go with this angle. I need a photo for when we purchase it at the store. Right about there. Let me make that invisible. And I'm going to grab screenshot. Here. And I'm going to make that back visible because I have to remember to delete it out when we're done. Alright, so now let's go into my pictures, Farm Sim 22. Open with paint.net. Alright. So let's crop this just a little bit smaller. Alright, so we're going to go copy and paste. Pull that down. And now we have to get rid of the background. Oh, too much on that side. Oh, is it not going to give me it? There we go. Let's cut that out. Cut that out. Cut that out. Oh, now we got to fix my old man texture. So let's go back to we're building this off a Mammoth Mill. So let's open that one up. And now let's grab. Oh, let's come in here first. Let me completely get rid of this. There we go. Let's copy this over to here. And then we need yellow background. Oh, we're good. Let's go like 55. Alright, so this is going to be fermenting. Where do I want to put it? Let's put it here. Fermenting house. I'll throw that about there. Alright, we can save this as DXT5. Alright, so that's our store photo when we go to buy it. So that's fixed. Let's get the correct file open. But your Mammoth Mill. Oh, I got a couple of them open. Alright, let's go back here. So let's go back to the fermenting house. Alright, so mod description's done. Icon is done. Let's go back to mod description first. So now let's see. So I need my pallets that the factory is going to make. So the first one is going to be red wine. The second one is melon wine. We have sauerkraut and vinegar. Oh, if I can spell, Vinegar. And then these we don't need. Alright, so I think our mod description's done. Yep, so that's good. So mod description's done. So let's get into the factory next. So we need to rename this fermenting house. Alright, so let's start at the top, work our way down. Change that one. Change that one. Now our store photo, when we go to buy it, will be fermenting house. It's an upper level factory, so let's go $199,000. Everything else is the same through here. Our i3D. Will be fermenting house. Alright, so we got rid of our second test area. Let me delete that here. And let me delete it down the bottom before I forget. So we got rid of test area 2. So let me delete those. Or we'll get an i3D error when we throw it in the game. Alright, so that's done, placement's done, clear area's done, level area's done. Tip collusion area's done. We got rid of one of the splines. Which spline did we get rid of? We got rid of the loading spline. So no loading spline. So let me get rid of it here, and I gotta get rid of it down the bottom. Let's get rid of it down the bottom first, and we'll come back and get rid of that one. So let me delete this one out. Now we gotta delete the loading spline out. Delete that out. Okay. These I don't need. Let's get rid of that. Clean the file up a little bit. Alright, info trigger is done. Alright, so first up, let me get rid of all this extra crap we don't need. We'll start with just one production line. Alright, so we are going to make red wine will be up first. And then I can get rid of these. Alright, so we are going to put in, we need barrel, which are going to make it to carpentry. I'm going to leave coal in this factory. Just get a few more in here. Alright, so we need barrel. We need... Now, is it grape or is it grapes? Is it singular or is it plural? Let's go into the fill types. Control find. It is grape singular. Okay, so we have grape. Let me take the S off of my notebook. So it's grape. We need... do I want to go with sugar or do I want to go with sugar cane? Let's go with refined sugar. So you'll have to get sugar from the sugar mill. And then water and coal. So we'll do water and coal will be our inputs. Alright, so let's use, we're going to have 4 different, so let's go like 20% on the barrels. It's going to be mostly grape. And then we'll do like 10% sugar, 10% water, and then we'll get our red wine. So this one goes to red wine. And red wine. And we can drop that down a little bit. Alright, so that's our red wine. Alright, let's copy this. And we'll paste it back in. And we change this to melon. And we change this one to melon. And now we change grape to melon. So you'll need to get that out of the one of the, I forget which greenhouse has melon in it. And then this one goes to melon. So we're going to be making melon wine. And then let's grab this again. Paste it down here. And I'm just going to paste two of them in. So we have both of them in here. Alright, so this one becomes sauerkraut. Sauerkraut. Now we're going to, and then this one we're going to go with cabbage. And instead of sugar, we're going to go with salt. So you'll have to get that out of the salt mine. We need a little bit of water. Yeah, we'll leave a little bit of water in there. And then this gets changed. As well. And then the last line is going to be vinegar. And vinegar. And now we're going to leave barrels, but we're going to change this to rice. And I don't need sugar. So this will make our vinegar. All right, now our inputs. We're going to input, let me scroll all the way up top so I can see the first line. All right, so we need barrels. I need grape. I need sugar. I need water. I need coal. Now what do we have on the second line? We need melon. So we already have barrels, sugar, water, and coal. And then we have to add in cabbage and salt. And then we have to add in rice. That should be all of our inputs. Then we come down here. And we don't have a loading trigger, so that can go. Because everything's going to spawn out on pallets. And now we have to fix this mess. I think I can get away with not having this here because I don't have it on my other factory. So if we have to add it back in, we can add it back in. Alright, so the first one is going to be barrel. And I want all of these to be 1 million liters. Alright, so barrel, grape, sugar, water, coal we already have, melon, cabbage, cabbage, salt, rice. And then that's all, should be all of our inputs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, now we have red wine, melon wine, sauerkraut, and vinegar. Now this one I don't need. Now my fill planes. Do I want to bring a fill plane in for coal because we're using it? So let's delete out wood chips. Let's delete out the ore. We may put a fill plane in for coal. Let me think about that. So let me get rid of this one and that one. And do we want to bring our coal fill plane in? Let's look at the factory. So if I brought coal in, I may move these barrels and put the coal right there. Let's see what that's going to look like. Let's go File, Import. Let's bring Mammoth Mill in. And let's grab the coal fill plane out of it. I just got to find it now. It's not under silo. It's got to be under sawmill. Nope. Visuals. Yep. Coal bin. Let's grab the coal bin for just a minute. May or may not use it. So let's come up here. And let's move it up to here. And now we can get this factory back out. Now if I use the coal bin, I think we are. I think we're going to move those barrels and put the coal bin there instead. Where's that one at? Oh, that one we can leave. Alright, so that leaves us a space for our coal bin. Now it can go a little bit bigger. And a little bit longer. Let's pull it back a little bit. So we can pull it out to here. Yeah, that works. So we'll have leave the coal bin in here. Let's save that. Alright, so we have, let's get back into here. So we left the coal bin in. So player trigger's done. Marker loadings. Did we keep marker loading? Which one did we get rid of? We got rid of, oh, so we kept unloading. So marker loading, okay, marker unloading. So we got rid of marker loading. Let me look at that one more time. Yeah, we kept unloading. Alright, so marker loading has to go. And then down here we got rid of, because they're all pallets, we don't need anything for loading. So map position, storage, that's all good. Player trigger, clear area, level area, test area, pallet spawners, warning stripes, wood chip. The only thing that I probably have to i3D map, because everything else is the same, is our wood chip. And we'll double check the warning stripes and the pallet spawner. So the pallet spawner should be number 13. Oh, it's now number 7, so we got to i3D map a lot of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shouldn't have changed. Let me come up here and close this. Alright, so clear area is number 2, level area is 3. Clear area is still 2, level area is still 3. So test area should be 4. Tip collusion area should be 5. It is. Lights are number 1, they didn't change. So just our pallet spawner down has changed. So that becomes now number 7. So that goes to 7. That goes to 7. That goes to 7. And then our wood chip pile. Where's my visual? Or I'm sorry, our coal pile. Coal bin. That is now this number. So let me copy that into here. So that should be our i3D mapping done. So let's get rid of the plane. Let me save it, close it. We got to fix a bunch of textures, I'm almost positive. Yeah, we got to fix some textures. Alright, so let's come into here. Let's go into textures. And then we have to go into, alright, Mammoth Mill first. So let's go external mods, Mammoth Mill, because we need the coal diffuse texture. This guy. Copy that into here. And then we take this down to just textures. Save that. Alright, and then from the cell point, I need all of peak, so I need all of these. So let's copy those into here. And then we can fix all of these. So these just go to textures. Alright, and that should clean up all of our textures, so we don't have any texture errors. Let's open that back up. And we should have any errors in the log with textures. We don't. Alright. So, next up is new fill types. Alright, so the first one we need is barrel. I'm going to have to get that out of the carpentry. So let's grab our barrel. Let's copy that over to our new factory. And then we need the HUD, but I don't need pallets because it's an input. So barrel is done. Next up is grape, and we can get that out of the map right here. So let's copy that over into here. Alright, so we have our grape. And then it's going to run off the in-game HUD, all of the in-game fill planes. Okay, I don't need anything else for grape. Alright, next up is going to be sugar. So I can grab that out of the map. So let's find sugar. Not sugar beet. Not sugar beet cut. Not sugar cane. Good old sugar right there. So let's copy that into here. Alright, so we're going to input sugar. We don't need the HUD because it's going to run off the in-game HUD, and we don't need a palette because it's an input, so we can delete that out. So sugar is done. Water we can get out of the map. Not our coconut water, just our water right here. Let's copy that into here. So under sugar, we have water. And so that should be done. So let me get rid of some of this extra stuff I don't need. Let's get rid of steel. So I wanted to keep coal because I think coal was next on the list. So let's get rid of this. We'll get rid of this. That can go, and that can go. So it leaves us with coal. Alright, so coal is done. So now we need to add in melon. Let's grab melon. Into here, under coal. So it's going to be an input, so we're going to need the HUD, but we're not going to need the palette. So melon is done. I need cabbage. We can grab cabbage, should be close to where we are. Pepper, onion, garlic, cabbage. Let's grab cabbage. Copy that into here. Alright, so cabbage is done. We're going to need the HUD, but I don't need palette because it's an input. Alright, cabbage is done. We're going to need salt. Let's grab this guy into here. And since it's an input, I only need the HUD. I don't need the fill planes or the textures. So salt should be done. Alright, next on the list is going to be rice. So let's go back to the map and we'll find rice. Oh, okay, so you're going to give me a hard time. So rice is going to be near a carrot in the list. So let me grab rice. We'll move that into here. And we're going to need the HUD. And since it's an input, I don't need palette, and I don't need textures. So we'll have rice. Next on the list is our finished goods. So melon wine. So I need, let's jump into, for a quick second, let's go into Dog is Dreaming. New fill types. So I need one that has an output with a palette. Plastic has a palette. Let's grab this one. Let's go back into here. Okay, so we have to put our outputs in next. Alright, so the first one is going to be red wine. Red wine. I already made the HUD, so the HUD should be red wine. And then our palette is going to be wine, because we already built a palette. So now we just need to copy these. I can get rid of that off my screen. Alright, so the next one is going to be melon wine. So melon wine, our HUD is going to be melon wine, and our palette is going to be melon wine. Alright, so next up, we have our sauerkraut. The HUD is already done. And palette's already built. So that's done, and then we just need vinegar. And then our HUD is done. And our palette is built. Save that. So we have our vinegar. Now we have to come back and put all of our HUDs in. But let's get this taken care of first. So what bulk goods do we have coming into this factory? Grape will be the first one up. That's a pallet. Coal is a bulk. Melon, cabbage, salt. So melon, cabbage, salt. What's after salt? Rice. Okay, and then just rice. Alright, so liquids we have, I think, just water. Yep. So you become water. Matt K, good morning, sir. I was wondering why the bulk storage silo won't take silver ore. It probably wasn't updated. So it's probably going to have to update that. Now, the bulk storage, the one that automatically distributes, I'm completely eliminating them. They will no longer be updated or supported. because they're not pushing the product out to the next factory properly. So I'm no longer updating the liquid storage, the bulk storage, the pallet storage warehouse, and the produce storage warehouse. They will not be updated at this point because we were putting coal in the bulk storage, and we had like 5 different factories that needs coal. Well, it's not distributing out of the bulk storage to all 5 factories properly. So they've been eliminated for now. Possibly a future update, but not right now, unfortunately. Alright, so let's come back in here. So bulk is done, liquid is done, product. So now I need everything that's on a pallet. So barrel will be the first one. Sugar is the next one. What else do we have? That's bulk, that's bulk, that's bulk. So our 4 finished goods. So we have our red wine, our melon wine, our sauerkraut, and our vinegar. So let me just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so I didn't miss any. So shovel should be, I think, just coal. Because that's all that's going to go into a shovel. Train wagon's going to be all of our bulk goes into train wagon. All of our bulk goes into a loading wagon. And then all mining should be just coal. So just coal on mining. Alright, let's fix our sounds. Let's turn our sounds back on for the fill types for the factory. So let me go into the refinery. So I know they're fixed here. So let's just grab this whole mess. And we'll copy it over to this factory. And I can get rid of that. Alright, so these have to go into the bulk category. And then our liquid, we only have water. So that should fix our sounds. So next we just need to put the rest of our HUDs in. Alright, so we need the HUD for barrel. And I can get that one out of the carpentry mill. So I need barrel right there. Let's copy that into here. Alright, so barrel's done. Grape we don't need, it's running off the in-game. Sugar's running off the in-game. Water's running off the in-game. We need a HUD for coal. Let's copy that one over. So that takes care of coal. We need a HUD for melon. And I can get that off of out of the map. So melon, got to copy that one into the factory. So melon's done. We need cabbage. Let's copy that one over. Alright, so we have cabbage. So cabbage is done. We need the HUD fill for salt. Alright, salt is done. We need the HUD fill for rice. Alright, so we have rice. And then the 4 finished goods are already made. So we have our melon wine, our red wine, our sauerkraut, and our vinegar. So we should have all of the HUDs. Let me make sure all of my XMLs are saved. So that one's saved, that one's saved. Mod description is saved, factory is saved, new fill types are saved. I think we are almost ready to test this factory. Just double check, make sure I didn't miss anything. Barrel, grape, sugar, water, cabbage, salt, rice. We have our red wine or melon wine, our sauerkraut, our vinegar, and we have, okay, so that's done. Alright, so effects are done. Fill planes, we don't need because I don't need them. I only need them for product going out. I don't need a product for product coming in. So they can all go. We have our palettes done. Scripts are done, textures are done, brand is done, effects is done. I think we're ready to test this. So let's grab this folder. Let's go into my mods folder. So let's copy this into here. And then let's crack the game open. Okay. I lost my mouse. Oh, there we go. I'm going to throw these into a new save just to make sure it's not going to throw any errors first. Let's throw it in Elm Creek, so I want to make sure it works on any map. And then if we get no errors that I have to fix, then we'll put it into the test map. But since it's the only factory I'm going to put down, it should be, I only want to pick up errors from this particular factory, not errors from everything else. So let me just throw some cache in here. So we're not going to save this anyway. And let's throw the factory down. Why it turns the camera is beyond me. So we should now have a fermenting house right there. And let's just drop that there a minute. Alright, so do we have anything floating? First of all. We don't. Alright, so nothing's floating. Where's our... Oh, okay, so that's going to be a problem. Our player trigger did not spawn in. So we probably have some errors in the log. So let's figure out why our palettes or our player spawner did not spawn in, because I probably didn't i3D map it properly. So let's fix the player trigger. It's probably going to throw an error. Yep. Oh, we got major problems. It's not picking up our palettes. Why is it not picking up our palettes? Well, that's going to be a problem. Let's scroll all the way up to the top and see what other errors I have. That's the first one. Okay, so let's go to our mod description. So we have our palettes right here. So we have our red wine palette, our melon wine palette, our sauerkraut palette, and our vinegar palette. We have our red wine palette, our melon wine palette, our sauerkraut palette, and our oh, that's why I've got one too many L's in here. Let's rename that. Palettes. That's going to be better. It didn't pick it up because I had way too many L's. Oh, look, somebody wants to make me famous again. So that's going to take care of our palettes not spawning in. That's going to take care of our fill types not existing. Why did my player trigger not spawn in? Right here. The info trigger, so these are i3D mapped wrong. So the info trigger, so anything with 03 I have to fix. Alright, so let's open the factory up. So let's go into here. Oh, so our unload all becomes number 2. So anything from 03 now becomes 02. Euro 2, Euro 2. Let's just double check so the map position is still 0, 0, 0, 1. Alright, info trigger becomes 03. Thought I had these done. AI spline becomes 04. Player trigger is going to be 05. And then you're going to become 06. Alright, that should fix all of our errors. Let me just double check. That's fixed. Info trigger's fixed. That one's done. That one's done. Alright, that should fix all of our errors. That should fix itself now that I fixed the palettes. Alright, let's throw it back in and see if we get any more errors. So let's delete this. Zip it back up. And let's copy it into my mods folder. So let's do the same thing. Let's go into Elm Creek first, just to make sure it's going to be error-free. So, new save, jump into Elm Creek. I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but it's my sister's granddaughter's here. It's spring break week for the schools, so she's out there singing her little heart out. She doesn't have an inside voice, she only has an outside voice. She doesn't know what an inside voice is. Alright, let's throw this back down. Fermenting. Give it about 10 years and you'll see her on American Idol. Alright, we have all of our triggers this time. Alright, so we're going to have our red wine. So barrels, grapes, sugar, water, coal will get us our red wine. Melon will get us our melon wine. Cabbage will get us our vinegar. So cabbage and salt. Sauerkraut. And then rice will get us our vinegar. So now we should be error-free. So let's drop it into our test map. And let me just double check the log, make sure all these errors went away. Oh, hang on, we still got a warning. What do we have a warning? Fermenting house XML, unable to add storage. I'm going to have the same problem as we did with the fishing. So we're going to have to add, so we're going to have to make it put out either a bulk or a liquid. So we're going to have to add in a loading trigger, and we're going to have to make the factory put out either a liquid or a bulk, or it's not going to work. Same problem we had with fish. Ever since the last Giants update, they screwed something over where your factories have to have either a bulk or a liquid output besides a pallet. And once again, I hate this factory script. I'd much rather work with Global Company from 19. So now it's going to force me to either put a bulk or a liquid out. Of the factory in order for it to work. Have no idea what Giants was thinking. Well, they don't think. If they would have thought FS22 out better, they would have went with Global Company and not this piece of shit factory script we have. So what can I put out as an extra output to make this work? So what else could I force this factory to make? Come on, give me another liquid or a bulk. Digestate. We can have it put digestate out. Because we're fermenting product, we're using water. So we can force the factory to do digestate. So let's go back into the XML. And then let's add one more output in. So it's going to force me to make another product. but let's only do like 5%. So we'll add it to there. We'll add it to there. Which means I'm going to have to add it to here. And we'll add it to here. This makes things a lot harder. Alright, now we're going to have to add it to our storage. Lazarus 8080 is now following. Thank you very much. So now we have to add digestate in as a storage. Now we have to add our loading station back in. So let's go into, let's open the factory back up. Or that's just, it's not going to work. Let me grab our plane to work on, just so we have a platform to work on. And I'm going to have to move. Alright, so let's do this. Let's move the grate over. Let's slide this over for our inputs. And then we'll slide the trigger over for our inputs. Alright, that'll work. Now let's go File, Import. I'm going to import in the refinery. Right there, refinery. Let's import the refinery in. Alright, because in the refinery I'm going to have to steal where is it? I need the loading triggers. Yes, I need all of the loading triggers. With the loading trigger, the discharge node, the AI loading. So let me come up here. Let's go edit, cut, and paste. So this is going to get us our trigger to pick up our digestate. Alright, so let me delete out the refinery. That's going to get us our trigger. Let me import Mammoth Mill back in. Because now I have to put the unloading marker back in. No. Nope. Alright, hold on. Let me get this out of the way. I need this guy. So I'm going to need the marker on the marker loading. Let me come back up top. And let's go edit, cut, and paste. So I need the marker loading. So that tells you where to pick up your digestate. And then we're going to come back into here, because now I need the other spline. I'm going to need, not that one, I'm going to need this spline. So let's go edit, cut, and paste. And I can delete Mammoth Mill back out. So let's get this spline in place. So if you want your AI to come over and load your digest state, it'll be on the trigger. Alright, let's save that. Now we have to go back into the fermenting house. So we have to add a couple more things in. Let's go into, just open up another folder. Let's go into the refinery first. Because I'm going to need our loading trigger information. So let me copy that into here. And now I'm going to need, we're going to have to come in and fix this, but I'm going to need everything with number 15. So I'm going to need we have to i3D map it. So I need, oh no, I can i3D, I don't need anything down there. So let me leave that open a second. Come back in here. Alright, so we need the trigger node, which is this guy. So it's going to be 07 and 0. Okay, why is that a different number? Trigger node. Okay, so that's the trigger node. Maybe 0. So hold on. Why are you way over here? Alright, so there's our loading trigger. Why is my discharge node way over here? I'm not going to use this one. Let's delete that out. I'm not going to use that one. I'm not going to use this one. So let's delete this out. I'm going to pull a different trigger in. I'm going to use the one from Mammoth Mill. So let's come back over to here. And let's grab the loading station. Let's go edit, cut, and paste. And then I can delete. Oop, not that one. Yep, that one. That's the, yeah, we can delete that one out. So let's grab this whole loading station. And let's bring it over here. So I know this one works better. I think this one works a little bit better. But I need to take the effects, make them invisible. Alright, so let's go to the Mammoth Mill instead. And let's close the refinery. Alright, so from Mammoth Mill, Sassy One, hello. Arlarn, hello. Sorry, didn't see y'all come in. Been busy trying to fix crap. I'll grab everything from here and copy those into the fermenting house. Since it's forcing me to put out a liquid. So this is going to be digestate. And then I need everything with our loading trigger. So we have to re-I3D map it. So anything with an O2, I have to move back over into here. Oh, we can throw it up here. Let me leave a space so I know what I have to fix. And then I also have to put my loading marker back in. So let's copy that into here. So we got to put our loading marker back in. And then I also have to put my AI spline back in. Which we need the loading spline. This guy. Let's add that back into here. And save that. So we should have our AI loading spline. We have to I3D map that, and I am missing it. So I need the AI loading spline from here. This guy. Need to re-I3D map this. A quick peek at chat. Okay, we're good. Alright, so now let's start with the AI loading spline. So the AI loading spline is this number. So let's fix that one. Alright, and then we have to fix our loading trigger numbers. Which are now... Why does that look funky? Oh, because I turned it invisible. So these are all now number 9. So 9, 9, 9. You become 9, you become 9. Alright, so that should fix the factory now. Since it's making us put out either a bulk or a liquid, we'll have the factory give us a little bit of digestate. So red wine, melon wine, sauerkraut, vinegar, we'll get a little bit of digestate back. And then in our new fill type XML, we have to add our digestate in. So let's grab that out of the map. And we'll throw that into our new fill types. We don't need a HUD because it's going to run off of the in-game, but I do need to add it down here to our liquid. So digestate there and here. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Space, there we go. Alright, so that adds it into the factory. So let me close Mammoth Mill so I don't accidentally make any changes to it. Alright, that's good, that's good. Alright, so I think we're good now. So let's get rid of the plane. And let's save this. Close it. Done with Mammoth Mill. Alright, let's make sure that didn't mess up any of our textures. And it didn't, so we're good. Let's delete this. Let's zip it back up. copy, override the broken one. And let's test it in a new save, and then if that gets rid of all the errors, and we'll throw it in our test map. Sent you a whisper. Alright, I'll take a peek at it. As soon as I make sure this is error-free, I can take a peek at that whisper. Alright, let's throw some cache in here. Alright, let's throw this down one more time, make sure it's error-free. Should be error-free this time. Construction, production, spin our camera around. Thanks to Giants, I have no idea why it puts us backwards. Fermenting house. Throw it down. Alright, so we should now be error-free. Nope, I didn't want that one. I want this one. So that should get rid of our storage error. It does. So let's just scroll up top and make sure we're still error-free. That's a mod. That's a mod. That's Giant's error that they still haven't fixed. And our factory is now error-free. Alright. So let's get out of this map. And the dog wants out of my room. I'll be right back. Alright. So let's quit out of here. So our logs should now be error-free. I'm going to throw you all on, be right back for a second. And I'm going to take a quick peek at this whisper, make sure it's nothing pressing that I need to address. I'll address that after the stream. Once I put them on, because I uploaded everything to modhub.us, and then there's a lot of shady people that pull it off of modhub.us and put it on other modding sites so they can get paid for the upload. So I don't get paid per upload, but a lot of the other modding sites and the other websites, they actually get paid per upload or download, whatever you want to call it. Lazarus 8080, does the map have a train? My first map, Richie's Creek, the 4X map does not have a train. The 16X map I'm building will have a train. Alright, so let's jump into our test map. And we'll get the fermenting house up and running. And test the, make sure all the barrels auto-load and all that good stuff. So let's go into Elm Creek test map. What we call stealing? Yeah, there's a lot of shady modders out there that don't care about other modders' work. If they can make a penny off of a download, then they'll make a penny off of a download. That's one of the modding sites that I don't download anything from. I'm playing the new Yukon Valley map now. I want the train. I rented to buy the game stops. You know, it could be her fault. Can you drive the train? That's not one of my maps. So I don't know anything about Yukon Valley. So yeah, unfortunately, it's not that one's not my map. So I cannot help you out there. I'm not sure who makes Yukon Valley. Alright, so we have the carpentry mill now makes empty barrels. So let me show you what one of those pallets look like. So we now have barrels, and I don't have any. So let's forward. Yeah, it's early. So let's forward. It's on storing. So let's forward time a little bit. I'll show you what the barrel pallet looks like. Okay, why am I not getting the barrel pallet out of here? It spawned out earlier when I was testing it. What am I missing for barrel? We have planks, we have nails, we have coal. Oh, it's not activated. That would help. Alright, so we should now get, I'll show you what the barrel pallet looks like. So you're going to have to update, when I put the fermenting house out, you'll get the upgraded carpentry mill. So, and then this will now make your empty barrels that you need to take to the fermenting house. So let's see if we have room to put the fermenting house down. I'm running out of room over here to put more factories down where it's relatively flat. Alright, it's not super flat over here. Let's see if we can't get the factory down. If not, we'll find a different spot on the map to put it down. Let's see if we can squeeze it in over here. You know what? Let me do this first. Let's get us a clean surface to work on. Alright, where's the... there you go. Can I zoom out? Oh, I can't. Why will you not let me paint that? I have trouble with painting sometimes, and I don't know why. There we go. Let's just get rid of this so we have a clean surface to work on. Alright. So let me save this real quick, so just in case the factory doesn't go down flat and we find a different spot on the map to put it on. Alright, construction, production. Freaking giants on their camera backwards. Fermenting house. Oh, we got plenty of room over here to put it, and it's relatively flat. Alright, so fermenting house. Let me go back to the carpentry and change it to distributing so we don't have a bunch of barrels over here. So I want the barrels to automatically distribute over to the new factory. So let's change the barrel to distributing. So they can automatically come over here. We're going to need this. Let's take this with us. Yeah, I was testing the barrel factory when I added them to the carpentry. And they're fine. They load, they strap, and they don't throw any errors. Trying to think who Yukon Valley is. Um, it's one of Papa Smurf's friends. It's not Kaz. It is, hold on, I have some of his mods. I think Winston, 9587. I think that's Winston's map. Alright, so barrels will automatically, everything should automatically come over because I think we have everything on this map running. Let's throw some salt in. Let's throw some rice in. Dixie is swinging the hammer. Alright. So let's grab some rice. You need rice to make vinegar. We need coal, so let's dump some of that in. We'll need... alright, jump back through here. So we were up to coal. We'll throw some... Oh, melon's not bulk. Melon is a pallet. We'll throw some salt in. So I have something wrong in one of the files. I have to go back and see why melon's showing up. Melon should not show up in here because it's not a bulk, it's a pallet. So melon should not be in here. We need some rice. Rice texture's messed up. Okay, so why is the... Oh, because I have to put the rice. Do I have to add the rice? Oh, because rice is not in this map. Alright. Let's go fix that. Hang on. Let me get this out of the trailer first. Now let's save this. I forgot. Rice is not in the base game map or any of the other maps, so we're going to have to add it in. I have to put the fill planes in. So let's go back to the fermenting house. So what else do I need to fix? So barrel, grape is a bulk because we made it a bulk, but we did not make melon a bulk. So let's come down here. Let's go to the new fill type. I gotta get melon out of here. So melon, grape is a bulk, coal's a bulk. Melon and cabbage are not because they're on pallets. So let me save that. And then train wagon, let me take melon and cabbage out of there. And I gotta take melon and cabbage out of here. Because they're pallets, and I have to add melon and cabbage up here. So that'll fix that. Now let's look at this mess again. Alright, that's a pallet, that's a bulk, because we have grape in our vineyard. Sugar's a pallet, that's a bulk. Pallet, pallet. Salt is fine. Rice. We have to add all the. Let's go back up and look at rice. Yeah, I have to add all the fill planes in for rice. Let's go back into the map. Let's go find. Oop, wrong one. Find rice. Nope. Carrot. Let's find carrot, and then rice should be right next to it. Right here. So let's copy that into our new fill type. So let's fix the rice here. Because now I need all the fill planes for rice. If you use rice, how will the factory be adjusted to work on the maps? Ooh, that's a good question. So what are we going to make vinegar out of if I can't use rice? I need something that makes vinegar. Alright, okay, what I need to do is I need to go back into the game. I need to sell this factory off, because if I take rice out of it, we have to take rice out of it, and it'll corrupt my save game. So let me go in and sell off the fermenting house. And then we're going to have to change inputs. So we're going to have to see what else we can use to make vinegar with. Good point. I didn't even think about that. See, Dixie keeps me straight. So let me come in here. Let's sell the fermenting house off. So let me get this guy out of the way. Because if I take rice out of it and I go back into my existing save, it's going to corrupt my save. So let us sell this off. And now let's save this. And we'll get back out of here. So I won't have a corrupted save. Alright, now I am uploading a video to YouTube, so let's just jump into here real quick. Google. What makes vinegar? Yeast. Vinegar solution. Usually acetate acid is produced. Double fermentation, which we're making a fermenting house. I know it's used for pickling and cooking. Converting simple sugars to ethanol using yeast. Apple cider vinegar. I don't want the factory to make. We're already making 4 different products, so I don't want to go there yet. But we can, once we make vinegar, then we can use vinegar in another factory, like to make pickles and stuff with. But first we got to get the vinegar made. Let's go back a second. What in GREEDIENTS in vinegar? Chemical composition of vinegar, acetate acid. So everything's going to be acetate acid. from sugarcane is strongly made from sugarcane, changes sugar into alcohol into acetate acid. Use potato. We can use potatoes to turn it into vinegar, or we can use the yeast and turn that into vinegar. Contains, yeah, it's acetate acid. Alright, so vinegar, sugar. Oh, there you go. Sugar beets potatoes, molasses, or milk. We can turn into vinegar. Alright, so let's get out of here. So let's do this. Let's go back into the factory first. And we'll change rice. Do we want to use sugar beet or do we want to use, let's just use potato. And let me go into the map just to make sure it's singular. Let me see if it's potato or potatoes. How does the map have it defined? Potato singular. Okay. So we'll use potato instead. So I need to take out rice and add in potato. And down here we need to take out, let's make sure I have rice in no other spot. Let me just turn it green for a second. Make sure I didn't miss it anywhere. I didn't. So let's turn rice into potato. There. So that should be the factory fix. So let's go into here. And we have to exchange. We had to take rice out and add potato in. So let's grab potato from here. Let's go into the fermenting house. Let's take out rice. And we'll put potato in instead. I don't need any HUDs. I don't need any fill planes because it's all going to run off of in-game. So now we need to come down here. Change. How many times do we have rice? So we got to change it in a couple spots. So you become potato. You become potato. Potato, and I think this is the last one. Make sure I have nothing else green that has rice in it. We don't. Alright, so this is the last one. So this one will become salt potato. Save that. Another reason to plant those taters. 1018. Yep, get your potato harvester ready. Alright, so that should fix the fermenting house. So mod description should be good. Factory XML should now be good. So we took out rice, we added potato in, and then our new fill types should be good. So now I can go in here and we can get rid of the rice HUD because we won't need it. That'll clean up that'll make the file just a hair smaller. Not much smaller, but a hair smaller. Let's delete that. Let's zip this back up. Alright, so copy and paste. Alright, let's jump back in here now. Looks like I got here just in time the factory would have had to been redone. Yeah. I didn't even think about rice not being in the base and any of the other maps. So we used rice in 19 to make the vinegar with. Alright, jump back in here. Let's put that factory back down. Let me check my phone just to make sure I have no other pressing messages I need to look at. Alright, we're good. Alright, so let's jump back in here. Jump back over here. And let's put our factory back down. Oh, stupid camera. Fermenting house. Alright, so let's take a look at this again. So we should now have... There we go. So barrels, potatoes, water, and coal to make our sauerkraut with. Alright, before we start filling this, let's just make sure we're still error-free. And we're good. Okay, so we're still error-free. Take a quick peek at chat. I don't think I missed anybody. Alright, so let's grab our trailer again. Alright. Now when I dump the coal in, that box of coal should fill. Let me just back up a little bit. We'll throw coal in first. So I can see if the fill plane's going to work. Now you're not going to give me the tip. Right there. Now I want to see if that box fills with coal. Okay, so our coal plane did go up, so that it will work. This tipper doesn't have a lot in it. I don't put a lot in it for testing. Alright, so we're going to need potato. Throw some of those in. Let's find salt. Throw some of that in. Alright, what else? Alright. Barrels should automatically come over. Grapes, I can throw some grapes in. Sugar should come over. We'll dump some water in. Melon should come over from the greenhouse. Cabbage should come over from the greenhouse. So let's throw a little bit of water in, and we'll throw some grapes in. 'Cause I don't know if I have the vineyard running on this map or not. But I should be able to throw some grapes in. The grapes should be a bulk, and they are. Let's get this guy out of the way. Let's grab some water. And let's get into the trigger. No small farm machinery for my potatoes in 22. You're not going to have the wife harvest them for you with the one-row potato harvester? Not going that way. Alright, so barrels should come over. We make them into carpentry. Sugar should come over. Melon should come over. Cabbage should come over. Let's check. Make sure we have these products. Scroll all the way to the top. Alright, do we have sugar? Oh, damn it. Let me close my door. The dog just came busting in again. Alright, so we should have, what do we need? Do we have sugar stored? We do, and it's distributing. So we have our sugar. That'll distribute over. What am I missing? So sugar should distribute over. I'm missing something. Barrels should distribute over. Are we making, so melons and cabbage, do we have any? It's easier for me to run over here than look in that stupid menu. So melons and cabbage, we should have our greenhouses running. Just want to make sure that these are running so they'll automatically distribute over. So we have some cabbage in this one. Do we have... So there's no melons in that one. Do we have melons in this one? We have melons in this one, so they should automatically distribute over. So let's activate this. Oh, see, he's being a pain in the ass today. Alright, so let's activate these. And we'll leave them on storing because we want them to distribute out. Our pallet spawners on this side, it is. So let's forward time a little bit. Slow it down. Alright, so what do we have? We have vinegar, we have our melon wine, we have our sauerkraut, and we have our red wine. And we'll use the vinegar in another factory. Red wine, sauerkraut, melon wine. Yeah, and we'll use vinegar in another factory to make some pickled goods. So let's change this to distributing, and we'll check the trigger on our digest date to make sure that we can load it. And we'll test the pallets. So you should be able to pick up a bit of digest date. You could just turn it to sell if you don't want to deal with it. But yep, so it'll go into a tanker, so that trigger works. And let's make sure our pallets will load. Oh, we're probably going to have to add these to the sell point. Or will they strap down? They will strap down. So let's check the log for errors. Make sure there's no errors with the pallets. and they're fine. So they spawn out. So there's no trigger node, attention belt node errors this time. Now the problem is I don't think we have them in a sell point. Red wine, nope. Melon wine, sauerkraut, vinegar. Alright, so let's do a save. And let's update the sell point. And the wife say, you get no help from me. Alright, let's update the sell point. Alright, so let me close the pallets. I'm going to leave the factory open for a second until I'm completely done with it. Alright, let's go into external mods. Sell point. So it's going to become version 1.7. So we have to add in red wine, melon wine, sauerkraut, and vinegar. And then down here, give me like down here. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4 new fill types. Red wine, melon wine, sauerkraut, vinegar. I'll save that. Alright. So let's delete this copy. Zip this up. Copy. Mods folder. Paste. Alright, so we should be able to sell these now. So back into save game 9. Oh, my coffee cup is empty. This is not good. But it's already 11:30, so I'll be getting out of here for lunch soon. Well, I'll be getting out of here for the day soon. Dixie, you streaming this afternoon? Streaming after lunch? Alright, let me just make sure I can reload these. Oh, come on. Sometimes I gotta unhook from this trailer and rehook to the trailer to make them work. Alright. Probably not. Send me a Facebook message if you are. If not, I may come back on after lunch and work on another factory. If you're going to stream, then I'll hold off the other new factory till tomorrow. But yeah, we get this as soon as we sell these. I'm probably going to get out of here for lunch. Alright, awesome. So no problem selling the new product. those prices were kind of low. Let me go look at something. Let's save this. Let me see what I set the prices at. So I only made 15,000 for 4 pallets of finished goods. So let me see what I did to the finished goods. Oh yeah, this is definitely wrong. Alright, this needs to go to 1. This needs to go to 1. Sauerkraut to 1. And vinegar to 1. Let's try that again. Fermenting house, let's delete that out. And we'll zip this back up. And let's try that again. Yeah, that I was thinking about getting rid of that fence on the cell point, but it'll mess up existing saves. I can make a second cell point and adjust the prices so they're a little bit different than the first cell point. One without a fence. So it gives you a little bit of variety in selling prices. So we eventually will probably we'll make a second cell point. Let's head back to the factory. And let's spawn out a couple more pallets and we'll check the prices. Alright, so let's go back in here. Storing, 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 and storing. And now we can go distribute, distribute. So don't get any more to spawn out. Alright. What are my chances? Can I pick up just 4 of them? We tested it with just 4 the first time, and the price was off. Come on, give me 1 more barrel. There we go. So let's just test it with 4. Oh, should have picked a flatter map for our test map. $48,000. That's better. So 48 grand for 4 pallets of finished goods. Alright, let's save this. And let me quit out of here. check the log, make sure there's no errors. Let's make sure the log is error-free. With the cell point and the fermenting house. That is, I keep getting that error on the Papa Smurf's trailer, and I don't know why. Sometimes it's random. Sometimes it'll show up and sometimes it won't. What did you expect on Nightmare on Elm Creek? Eventually I'm going to take and move everything over to No Man's Land. It's a lot flatter and I got a lot more room to put factories down. Alright, I'm going to throw you all on Be Right Back. I'm going to go a little bit longer. Let me grab a fresh cup of coffee, hit the little boy's room. Give me about 4 or 5 minutes, I'll be back. And we'll start working on the next factory I have planned. Alright, as soon as I sit down and get myself settled, the dog's going to want to come busting back into the room. Let's throw you back on window. Yeah, we won't get this next factory finished, but we can at least get it started. So I'm going to leave the cell point open because we're going to have to add the new products into the cell point. But let's close the fermenting house because we know it's finished. And we close that one. Alright, so that's going to get rid of our fermenting house. Let's jump into here. Now, the slaughterhouse as we know it in FS19 will not work in FS22 because the factory script will not allow us to use the animal triggers. Global Company would, the new factory script won't. So the only way for me to get a slaughterhouse to work is we're going to have to purchase pallets from the vehicle shop. So we're going to have a cow pallet, we're going to have a pig pallet, we're going to have a sheep pallet. You're going to have to purchase from the vehicle shop and then deliver to the slaughterhouse. What we're building next? I did. Yeah, I didn't. So we're going to jump into. We definitely won't get this finished today, but let's get it started. So let's go back to, and we're going to use Mammoth Mill as our base because it seems to be a pretty steady or pretty stable base to use. So let's jump back into Mammoth Mill. As long as it doesn't have rice in it, yeah, definitely. Alright, so let's jump into here. So let's get rid of that. That goes, that goes, that goes, that goes. Discharge pipe, I'm going to get rid of. We can always bring it back in if I need it. I didn't make any signs for the slaughterhouse, so let's keep one sign. That can go, and that can go, and that can go. So this is going to give us our blank base with, and then the attachment can go. So this will give us our blank base with all of our triggers. So let's go File, Export, Slaughterhouse. I don't have any of the pallets built for this factory, for the outputs. So we're going to have to come up with, we take 1,000 of each live cow on a pallet. Yeah, I'll have to go in and look at the what I have the XML set at. Alright, let me grab effects, fill planes, scripts, brand. Let's grab the icon, the XML mod description, and the new felt type. So let's copy all of those into here. So I usually build all the pallets first, but let's build the factory first this time. Because then we're going to have to come back in and rebuild all of the pallets. Let's see what we have the animals set at. So one pallet of cows is going to cost you $500, and it's going to have 10,000 liters of live cow on it. And then the pig is going to cost you $500, and it's going to have 10,000 liters on it. And what do I have the sheep at? Probably the same. $500 for one pallet of sheep, and it'll have 10,000 liters on it. So let's go into the slaughterhouse. Let's get a plane to work on. how do you get 10,000 liters of live cow? Yeah, it's just something I had to pick. So I just pulled that number out of my hat because we have to set the pallet at something. And when you drop one pallet of cow off in the slaughterhouse, it's going to put 10,000 liters of cow into the slaughterhouse as an input. Alright, so let's get our sign out of the way. We're going to have to redo the sign. So let's just throw it over there for now. And I don't know where anything else is going to go yet. Let's import in, let's bring in building 1. We'll just bring them all in one at a time. And I think we're going to work around this building. So let's go edit, cut, and paste. Now, I don't know about the signs on this building. We may have to come in here and take the signs off and work with the signs a little bit. Or this may even be a little bit too big to work with. 'Cause I don't want this to be like super huge. But let's leave that in there for now. Building 2. What did I bring in for building 2? This is a little bit smaller. We may work with this one instead of that one. Let's bring in the chute. Let's throw that there for now. I'll leave the fences go for now. Let's bring in... So we have the fences, the gates, the poles. Let's bring in the walkway, just so I can remember what it looks like. Yeah, let's get rid of this first building. Let's go with the smaller one. We'll work around that. And then let me just zero it out so I know where dead center of the build is going to be, right there. So our pallets of finished goods are going to spawn out on this side. So let's spin this way to 0. We'll have our pallets spawn out in front of the factory. Do we need to lower this at all? Maybe just a little bit. So that'll be the front of our building. You can even park your trailer in there if you want. If you go to the animal dealer and say I want to buy animals on the pallet, they hunt you out of the store with a hay fork. Probably. Let's see if this walkway is going to be too big or if we can still use it. So let's go edit, cut, and paste. Let's spin it this way to 90. Let's bring it over here. This may end up being a little bit bigger than I want, but let's start with this. And then let's bring the chute over. Visuals. And because we're gonna, this is where our pallets spawn out. So where do we want to load our animals in? Probably back here somewhere. So let's go minus 90. So we'll probably pull this grate back a little bit depending on where our fences go. So let me just pull this back out for a minute. Alright, so let's go File, Import. Let's bring in, so we have Building 1, Building 2, we have the chute. Let's bring in Fence 1. I'm not sure what of these I'm going to use yet. Let's bring in Fence 2. Just so we have it. Let's bring in, I think this is just some spare fences if I need them. I just need to pull parts off of. Let's bring in the gate. And let's bring in the second gate, just if I need it. Oh, that's really ugly. These are the poles. I know why I brought these in. They have to support our walkway. So let me go Edit, Cut, and Paste. And I have to try and get these under the walkway. Now, which way around? I think this way. This supports the walkway. And then the extra poles I'll have to delete out. But I think I needed this to support the walkway. I do. Yeah, and it's going to have a bunch of extra stuff and I'm going to have to delete out. Why does that look like it's still off a bit? We didn't want to do that. Wanted to slide it back just a hair. And then, does it have to come up at all? Nope, it's good right where it is. Let's fix up some of the extra poles that we're not going to need. I'm going to go through these one at a time so I don't have anything floating out in the middle of nowhere. Keep that one. That one's good. So if this is too big, we'll cut it down and make it a little bit smaller. Alright, so we have some extra poles floating out in the middle of nowhere. Alright, so we can delete that one. Delete that's floating out in the middle of nowhere. That one's fine. That one I can get rid of. That one can go. That one can go. Where is that one? Probably way out in the middle of nowhere. Yep, let's get rid of that one. Alright, so let's take this one here. That one can go. Alright, let's pull some of these down a little bit. Just so we have a little bit extra support down here. And we'll do the same thing on this side. Bring one about there. Bring one about there. Alright, that should be our that supported. Now let's look at our fences. Let's look at this one. Yeah, let's work with this one first. So where's our opening? Our opening is this way. Well, we have a couple openings. Do I want to use that one? No, that one. They're about 50-50. Just trying to keep this as small as possible. Let me mess with this for a minute. So if I bring this all the way out, it's going to be too long that way. But if I bring you up this way, we're going to have openings in the fence that I don't need. We're going to have to fill, we're going to have to mess around with this fence a little bit. Or we just put some gates on it. So that's going to be a little bit too far forward. It is, because now it's into our steps. So let me spin my camera. Let me get a good camera angle. I can't see the steps at the same time. So let's slide that back a little bit. So that takes it so it's not clipping into our steps. And I can get a little bit closer to the building. So right about there with this one. Now if I bring it back, yeah, it's going to bring it back further than I wanted. I wanted to keep this thing a little bit closer. So let me do this. So if I take this guy and we bring it up to here, I'm probably going to end up with some flickering fences, maybe. Maybe not. Yeah, and then it's not going to be as big. It's not going to be too big. So now we just need to get some gates in. So can I don't know if I can. Can we move? No, I can't. Crap, I'm not going to be able to remove just one section of fence over here, or am I? Right there, but that's going to be too big of an opening for our chute. I might be able to shrink it down. Let me try something. If we bring, where's the loading chute? If I bring the loading chute over, and we take out, where was it? One section of fence. Can I line this up? And then we look at this section of fence. Oh, that loading chute ain't gonna work because it's gonna want to put the animals up and over the fence. So I'll probably just get rid of the loading chute and use some. So let's get rid of this guy. I may just delete this out. Oh, got somebody knocking on my door. Hold on. Be right back. Alright. Sorry about that. Yeah, the chute we may not use. Let's grab our spare gate. And we'll see if we can't fence this in. So this guy, I'm not going to, let's delete that out, we're not going to use that. Well, delete that out, we're not going to use that. So where's our extra gate? Right there. So let's go edit, cut, and paste. I'm trying to keep this as small as I can. It'd be nice if we could get regular cows in and they would get put on pallets. I wish I can use the animal dealer triggers in 22 like we had in 19. They just won't work. Alright, is this gate going to be too big? Alright, so that'll cover up that opening. That'll fill in this opening. And now what else do we have? Couple openings up front. Yeah, couple openings up front. Let's bring this guy up. Is it like two-sided? I think it's two-sided. Let's just spin it this way. Oh, we could put and get. It'd be nice if we could put regular cows in, and they would come out on pallets. Put bales in and get bulk out. Yeah, again, the factory script for 22 is a lot more limiting than it was than what we did with it in 19. Alright, so that should be our fence completely closed in. Let's give that another save. Oh, we got a railing over here just hanging in midair. Is this of course, it's probably not going to be a separate section, is it? Come on, give me. Alright, this guy. If I pull this guy out, let me duplicate this guy a second. Does he have a closed end? I think he has a closed end there. think if I replace this with this, we won't have that. No, do we still have that? No, because this one angles up. So we won't end up with that open-ended rail just hanging out in the middle of nowhere. Delete that one out. So what does this corner look like? So this corner's fine. Yeah, I don't know what else to do with animals for getting them into the slaughterhouse in 22 other than this. So you're just going to have to buy them at the store and haul them over. But we need the slaughterhouse before we can make a pizza factory, so this is the only way I know of to get it done. Yeah, so I'm going to get rid of the chute. We're not going to use the chute. So let's delete that out. And then I'm going to take, just to fill this in a little bit more, can I get like one section of fence? Of course not. The game's not going to want to give me one section of fence. It's going to give me the whole freaking thing. That'll work. Let's pull you this way to 90. Alright. So let's pull that out. Oh, and the dog lets himself back in again. It's going to be one of those days. Alright. Come on, give me just this guy. There we go. Go lay down. If you're in here, go lay down. So let's pull this so it's just outside of here. So let's slide, not that one. This one, we'll slide this one up a little bit further. We'll just make it a little bit longer. And then we'll take this guy. I didn't double all these up when I hit that button, did I? No. Okay. Alright, so let's go back to this guy. And then what do we have against the building? That'll work. Alright, so that should take care of that. We'll have to do some signs. So we'll have to mess around with signs for a slaughterhouse. Let's do another quick save. Alright, so let me close all these fences. I can't close visuals because I gotta move some stuff around. Alright. Let's grab our grate. And let's turn it this way. Uh, where do I want to have you drop the stuff off? So we're also going to have a liquid or a bulk to pick up. Now let's spin this back this way. Let me see who's calling me. Nothing pressing. Let's put our inputs in over here because I got an idea for outputs. It's going to make the factory a little bit longer. It's going to make the factory a little bit longer. Let's put it back over here. I don't want to stretch the factory out any longer than I have to. So this will be where we drop our products off at. Let's pull the triggers over. Merlin Panther just subscribed. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Thank you for taking time out of your day, stopping in and saying hello. Yeah, unfortunately, Dixie, I have no way of making that work in 22. Even the visibility nodes where you drop the cows off and then the animals appear in the pen, there's no way of making that work in 22 like we did in 19. The visibility nodes don't work with the new factory script. Now I need a small building or a silo. Let me save this. I'm going to import in the seed master for a minute. Actually, I would love to use this whole thing. Can I get it in here? I can. Alright, so what I'm going to do is let's get rid of some of the stuff we don't need. I'm going to use this whole building for a minute. So map position, storage. Let's get rid of all of the triggers. Alright, that I don't need. That I don't need. Alright, so silo I don't need. Lights I don't need. Clear area, level area, test area. And grate can go. Sign can go. I'm going to use this whole thing for a minute. And we'll change the color up a little bit, I think. So let's go edit, cut, and paste. And I think it should slide right in here. Can I move this electrical box? Yeah, this guy. Let's slide him down. So this guy has to come back a little bit further. because I've got an idea of thinking ahead on the inputs and outputs. I've got an idea for an output for this. So let's take our grate. Let's pull this out a little bit further. And let's take our triggers. And let's move that out a little bit further. And then let's get this trigger over here where it needs to go. And then this pipe can come down a little bit. Discharge pipe can come down a bit, and then we'll get this guy slid over a little bit further. And then a pipe can come up just a hair. So this should be, except for some colors, which we can change up, this should be the basic layout for our slaughterhouse. We got to get animals in and stuff yet, but this should be the basic layout of the building, where the footprint's not going to be super big. Pallets will spawn out front. We'll get some signs put on the building. Probably change the colors up a little bit. And we'll have to put our animals in. $10.18. I'm sorry. Let me just asking any updates coming soon. Nothing planned in the way of map updates. Unless Giants, the next update breaks something, there's no other updates planned. And the reason I had to do the last update to version 2.0 is because Giants update broke fishing. And the only way I could fix fishing was to do a new map, new game save. If the game update did not break fishing, then we would not have had a new game save. Alright, so yeah, that should be the basic factory. Alright, let's work on some visibility nodes. Alright, so let me create a transform group. Let's go edit, cut, and paste. Breaking stuff is what Giants does best, I know. Well, I'm going to duplicate that, and let's go edit, cut, we'll put it inside of this one. We'll call this one animals. Throw this right there a second. So this one will be cows. Let's duplicate that. Let's go with sheep. And I'll duplicate that. And we'll go with pigs. No horses this time, just the cows, the sheep, and the pigs. Now, where do I have them? Is it this folder? No. Is it this folder? It is. Alright. So let's go File, Import, Desktop. Let's bring in a cow. Again, I'm not going to be able to make these spawn in as a visibility node like we did in 19, unfortunately. But let's get a few cows in here. Can I do the whole Control B? Make it, I can. Oh, maybe not. I can. Okay. I'm going to turn these, but let's just get a few in here to start with. Have him heading out the gate. Alright, so I'll get us some cows in there. Sheep. Have a 1018. Thank you for stopping in. Much appreciated. Let's import in the sheep. So we go edit, cut, and paste. Let's get some sheep in here. I think I'm going to spin around. So I think I'm going to put a couple sheep over here as well. So let's grab a couple random sheep. And then we'll spin these guys around. Just so they're not all facing the same way. Arlarn, 100 bits. Thank you very much. Always much appreciated. And that way. You can go that way. Turn you that way. And you can stay where you're at. Alright, let's get some pigs in here. Oh, they're all too low. Damn it! They're all in the freaking ground. Alright, let's get this one raised up. Alright, so let me take this height. Copy it. Now I gotta fix all the damn sheep. Should have checked that before I duplicated them all. So let's get them all out of the ground. Oh crap, where was I? That one's fixed, that one's fixed. This one. This one. This one. Wish there was an apply to all button. I guess I could have brought the whole transform group up. That would have made more sense. Well, I'm already here. I could have raised the whole transform group up. Hey, I'm only on my third cup of coffee. Sometimes you have great thoughts after the fact. Alright. Oop. Wrong one. There we go. Alright, so sheep are fixed. They're just tired of the trip to the factory, so they're laying down. Alright, let's get some piggies in here. Alright, so we're done with sheep. Let's grab some pigs. Alright. Oh, cancel. I don't know what I just hit. Let's do a quick save. Alright, file, import. Let's bring the pig in. See if he's sitting on the ground. Alright, he's pretty good. Nope, he's going to end up in the ground. I'm going to have to fix every one of them. Nope, I'm going to have to fix every one of them. And then I can pull the whole transform group up instead of fixing each individual one. So let's throw a couple random. Let's get a pig in here that ran away and went in with his sheep. And then I can pull the whole transform group up. And then we can rotate some of these piggies. I can leave him in there. He can stay where he's at. Spin that one around. Alright, we gotta have one. We gotta have at least something misbehaving. Which, let's grab a pig. We gotta have a pig misbehaving. Let me duplicate that pig. And let's get one making a break for it. And let's, can I get a buddy following him, making a break for it? Alright, hold on, let me take my speed down a little bit. Can I give him a buddy making a break for it? Probably down here I could. Something like that. Run, piggy, run. Alright. Save that. Lamb with bacon. Alright. Dog is really restless today. Alright, sign we'll get to, but probably after lunch. Alright, let's save this. There's not much more I can build with the factory itself. So let me grab my notebook. Let me pull up our... Close that. Let me pull up our slaughterhouse from 2019. I want to look at some of the inputs and outputs. So I know what to do with the factory for 22. Alright, so our cow, with our cow, we're going to make steak. We'll make pepperoni. Sausage, why is that like... Sausage we'll do with the pig. We'll do ribs from the cow. So we'll do burgers, yeah. So we'll do steak, pepperoni, sausage, ribs from the cow. The sheep, leather. And then the sheep, we'll do mutton and wool. From the pig, we have to have bacon, ham, bacon, ham. What else do we want? Sausage and steak, pepperoni, ribs. Actually, I'm going to move the ribs down to pig. And I'm going to replace ribs with cow. We're going to do ground beef. Steak, pepperoni, ground beef, leather. The sheep will get mutton and wool. The pigs will do bacon, ham, sausage, ribs, and leather. What else do we have with our 22? Or with our 19? Pepperoni, steak, sausage, ham, bacon, mutton, ribs. The only thing I'm not going to do is the pork chops. And then we'll add in water and straw. And we'll output manure. So we get a little bit manure as an output. Now I'm not going to add any, we're delivering cows, sheep, and pigs on pallets, so I'm not going to have you bring pallets or boxes into the factory. So we should be good there. So that should be our inputs and outputs. Now, what do we want to build? I want to leave this XML open for a minute, because I'll probably pull some stuff out of it. Alright, so what do we want to make our pallets out of? So we don't have, other than our live cow, our live pig, our live sheep, we have no other output pallets made. Let's go into our, okay, that's the slaughterhouse. Let's go into Ritchie's Creek pallets. What do we want to make our pallets look like? And I think I'm going to go with the boxes, to be honest with you. Because we're also going to need our HUDs. And I think it may be easier to make these on boxes palette. So let me go into... let's go into... That's the factory. I don't want that one. I want this one. Let's go into Farm Sim 19. Let's go into the slaughterhouse main folder. All right, let's clean this up a little bit. Building 1, building 2 we're done with. Let me delete them out. The chute we're done with. The fences and the gates we're done with. Let me delete them out. The poles and the walkway we're done with. So that's going to clean our file up. So let me go into mods, Ritchie's Hollow, HUDs. Alright, we're going to need steak, well, let's grab sausage since we're right here. Where is steak? Right here. Alright, pepperoni. Let's copy that. Ground beef. Just copy that over. Leather. Let's grab our leather. Copy that over. Mutton. Copy that over. Wool will pull out in-game. Did I already move bacon over? I did not. Let's find our bacon. Missing bacon. Bologna. Do we have... Right here. It was here somewhere. Let's move that over. Ham. Ham. So we won't have to recreate all these HUDs. Sausage I already pulled over. Ribs. Pork. We're not doing pork chops, ribs. Leather. Okay, so that's all I should need in the way of. Let's pull up. Let's go back to Farm Sim 22. All right. So that should be our finished goods. Let's see if I'm missing any. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so that's going to be our outputs. I think I'm going to use boxes. So let's go into what factory was making boxes? The Mammoth Mill. Grab our boxes palette. So let's go File, Export Selection with Files, Documents, nope, External, Storage, Slaughterhouse, Pallets. Okay, so this is going to be, let's start at the top of the list. Steak palette. Let's save that. And we'll grab the boxes XML. Let's copy that over. We'll rename it steak palette in a second. And then did I have, okay, so I have my texture for boxes. So let's go into, let's open this up. Let's see, I can close the factory we were working on this morning. All right, so we have a clean slate to work with. So that's going to be boxes. Let me go back into let's go back into the slaughterhouse from 19. And look at textures a minute. I'm going to copy this over to here for a minute. And then let me go into palettes. And I'm not going to, I can't use these, but I just want to copy it over here for a minute. And then I can delete these back out. Alright, so we have boxes open. Because this is a smaller sign for me to work with. And then the first one up is steak. So let's open up the HUD for steak. Alright, so these are the ends of the box. So let's grab this guy. Let's copy that into here. So these are actually the end, the small side of the box. So this is the small side of the box. And then let me open up the pie factory. So I want to grab the keep refrigerated. So let's copy that over to there. And then let's grab our steak. pull it down a little bit. About there. About there. Alright, let's go with red. And let's pull you down to like 22. Oh, okay, why are you not? Oh, because I've got you highlighted. May or may not like this. We'll see what it looks like once we get it onto the palette. Let's go File, Save as Stake 1. Alright, so now if we go back into the slaughterhouse, back into palettes, steak palette. We'll name this Steak 1. And let's save that. Now before I do the XML for it, see what this looks like. Alright, so we have, let me take my speed down a little bit. Alright, so I'll have the Hormel logo on the side, on the short side of the box. So I have what's in it on the long side of the box, and we have keep refrigerated on top of the box. Yeah, we're going to go with this palette. Alright, so now let's take this guy. Let's rename it to Steak Palette. And then let's just fix it as we go. So I'll throw steak there, there, and then our fill type will be steak. So let me save that. So that's going to be our first fill type done. Now, it is 1 o'clock. I've not had any breakfast. I'm going to get out of here for lunch. Let me throw you all on ending soon. We can pick it up after lunch. We'll build the rest of our pallets. We got to build all the pallets before we can get the factory, any of the factory XML work done. We have to get all of our pallets built. So we have like 8 more pallets. We have leather to build as well. So I'll have like 8 or 9 more pallets to build after lunch before we can finish up working on the slaughterhouse. I got to do the lights and the signs, so we got to do all that after. So we probably have another good 2 hours worth of work to do to get this factory even close to running. Sassy one, have a great lunch. See y'all later. Yeah, give me about an hour, hour and a half. As long as the house is quiet, I'll come back in. If not, we'll finish this up tomorrow. But I'll try and get back after lunch for a little bit so we can work on this a little bit more. So I'm going to get out of here. Y'all have a great afternoon.